Look, I'm telling you everything I know, okay? She'll be back soon. How soon, I can't say. Where she's been, I can't say. What she's up to, I can't say. Well, this isn't really an exact science, you know. It's complicated. And telling the future and reading the signs and the omens, it doesn't always come down to 1 plus 1 equals 2. No, there's so much variation to everything. No, there's so much variation to everything. Even just one person can change the course of history, right? And so even just one person or one org can change the course of the future. I don't know exactly. I just know she'll be back soon with something unexpected. Well, I'm not sure. It feels a little neutral. Not good, not bad, just new, different, something that does not quite belong here. Well, and that would be your choice as chief. You decide what we do with any dilemma brought before you. I would offer my advice, of course, and so would the rest of the council. And, I do have to say, they've been warming up to you quite a bit. They really have. Did you know? I heard them talking the other night. Every single one of them is glad that you drove Gark out of here. Every one of them. You have been not just accepted by the tribe, but exalted by them. You are something of a hero here now. They respect you, and that means a lot. So your decision is ultimately the decision the entire tribe will abide by. But you do have an obligation to hear out your circle of... Well, I say that because I do want to make sure you know before any... Well, I don't know what it's going to be. Remember, it's a very vague impression of the future, not a specific outline. I know something will happen. I know you will be instrumental in it. I don't know what that means. If I could tell you more than that, I think I would deserve a much more prominent space on your council. Although there is no space more prominent than the one in our bed. You can't really blame me. It's not my fault she went off on a scouting mission and I have you all to myself. Well, you know what they say. Girls just want to have fun. And you are so much fun. Oh, I really think it could be. It could be her. She could be on her way right now. Well, it really could be her. She could be coming up any minute and having whatever that surprise is in tow with her. I really hope it's something as delicious as the cookie recipe you brought. No, I'm serious. You saw the kind of food we had here before you moved in. You have improved our diet. You have improved the things we eat so significantly with that book of yours. Maybe she found another book. I don't know. More cooking books, or... I suppose there are other types of books. I just don't know any of them. Well, what kind of book would you hope she has, Well, that makes two. So if there's just one more blow of that horn, we're gonna know for certain she's back. She's definitely back. Get back, everyone get back. Just make room for the chief, come on. I didn't even have to. They were already moving before I said it. Like I told you, you have their respect. Welcome home, sister. I see you're in one piece, unfortunately. Well, I bring news, but not of the ravagers. Oh, from what I can tell, they've all moved on, at least for the time being. I really don't know It's like they all vanished. Well, I was following a couple of trails, and a lot of them just ended. It's as if the ravagers simply disappeared. Not that they crawled off somewhere. There were no remains. The tracks just stopped. Some of them mid-stride. I have never seen anything like it. So what you're saying is you failed, is that it? I told you I was the better sister. I told you you were lucky I was the one who stayed with you. God, will you shut up? I'm not finished. I didn't find evidence of the Ravagers, but I did find something else that I think you would really need to look at. Here. Just right here in this bag. So not only did you fail in your task with the Ravagers, you brought back more mouths to feed. You are the worst huntress we've ever had. Well, she is my sister. I'm just trying to be a little playful. All right, fine. You are the chief and I will listen. Grelka, I am less disappointed in you than usual. Oh, wonderful. Funny enough, I do think that's the best compliment you've ever given me. Look, I don't know what these things are. They're small, they're clearly young, and they were out there all alone. In fact, they were near a lot of those disappearing Ravager tracks that all seem to lead in the same direction. And I know they will be more mouths to feed. I will go on an extra hunting trip to make up for it. I catch most of the food for this tribe. I have no problem catching a little more. These things, well, it may be a little rude. I don't know what else to call them. I've never seen a creature like this. And knowing the creatures of the area is, well, it's literally my job. Let me look at them. Let me see if I can identify anything about them. Don't give me that look. I know that you are the animal expert in these parts, but if they're not from these parts, well, then my magic should come in a little handy. I will be gentle. You have my word. Now, if I can just have you hold one of them. Well, I guess there's... Does it matter which one? I can just grab one and... Feisty little things. Oh, I'll be fine. I've been cut far worse than this. They have a lot of energy in them. That is for damn sure. Can you give it something to make it calm down? The way it's fidgeting and moving around like that, I don't want it hurting itself. Plus, it'll interfere with my spell. You think you can? Well, by all means, you're welcome to try. Watch your hands. Their little claws are very sharp. Would you look at that? Do you know what these are? If you've never seen them, it's a miracle you were able to get one to calm down so quickly. Now, if you can just hold it still, I will do what it is I do best, and we can see where you have come from, you little one. You are far from home, so far. You don't come from this plane. How did you get here, so far from your home? Ah, well, if there's one thing I've learned all these years from my sister, you may not always get the answer you want out of her, but you do get the one you need. Yes, and what we need now is to talk to the rest of the council. Because, Well, I really don't want to say out in public like this because this is big. Something big is happening, and it may even be related to all of the troubles we've had with ravagers lately. Well, they do seem to be appearing further and further from their homes. And now, these little kittens. Because that's what they are. They're, I don't know exactly what kind, but they are kittens. That much is clear. And they are very far from home as well. So it is very possible that whatever's happening is affecting both the ravagers and these. Well, if it were up to me, I would say we just put them back where we found them and call it a day. What, and leave them where something can devour these poor defenseless little creatures? Absolutely not. Look, from the signs of things around the area, it is very clear that they did not come here alone. If I had to guess, I would say their parents, maybe their owners. Hell, maybe even someone who's trying to smuggle them through these lands to sell somewhere. Honestly, I don't know. All I know is that there looks like there was a big fight. That's the thing. The Ravagers all disappeared. Their footprints completely stopped. But there was still a fight. And from the remnants of the area, it definitely seems like there were adults who wore clothing, not animals fighting each other, not clothing, you say? Please tell me you got a scrap of it. I could do some magic on it and find out all about it. The young ones are wearing the same type of clothing, a smaller version of it. I'm not sure I understand why you would need the other clothing, but, you know, it's a good thing I know you so well, sister. Because I did grab some. I have this torn piece of cloth with maybe even a little bit of blood on it. I don't know if that will help you any, but you really have a way with things. That little ball of claws and fangs was hellish when I was trying to hold it. But for you, so calm. In fact, it almost looks like it's about to fall asleep. If it falls asleep, can I study it? I wanna do some experiments and see how this little thing reacts. Oh, you're no fun. This is new and I want to learn. It's my duty as the shaman of the tribe to understand these new things. It's my right. It's my responsibility. Are you telling me that you will not let me do what it is I am best at? Looks like you don't get your way this time. These are living creatures. They deserve to be cared for. They are infants, for God's sake. I know, and that makes them even easier to study. They can't tell me to go away. No, and you're right. There's no point getting into an argument with her over this. I will find somewhere to put them to keep them safe. And I will work extra hard to prepare food for them. They're young, they can't possibly eat much. Milk? Oh, well, now that's going to be a problem. Well, none nearby. But if I can... I know I just got back. But if I can go on just one more trip, I can capture a tuffalo or two, and I can bring them back, and we can use them for milk. It's not exactly a staple in orc diet, but we know how to get it. Do you really think it's wise to be planning to leave with her? We haven't gotten a chance to speak to the council yet, and we already needed to before we had to contend with these kittens as well. I don't like this. I insist we at least have a meeting with the council before you go running off on some other adventure. You just don't like the fact that I'll have him to myself this time, do you? You don't like that at all. It's not about him. It's not about you or me. It's about taking care of these things that need our help. Although she does make a good point. Talking with the council is definitely the priority. Oh, you actually agreed with me. Thank you. I'm glad to have your support on this one thing. Anyway, I will make sure they're fed. If there's one thing I've learned out there, it's that doing the right thing is always a good idea. I know it'll put a little bit of an extra burden on us. But let's be very honest, the tribe has been doing insanely well since you drove Gark out of here. If there was ever a time for us to put a little bit of extra resources somewhere, now is that time. Right, but those are our resources, though, and we need the entire council to agree to that before we can let you do it. Let me. Drelna, you need to listen very carefully. I'm doing it with or without your approval. I'm doing it with or without the approval of the council. The only reason I am willing to meet and talk with them is because they need the first-hand account. And they need to know what happened, so that if anything else happens while I'm gone, while we're gone, they know how to handle it. After you, then, Chief. You are the boss. Okay, hold up. I'm coming too. Well, you're not going to just leave me behind. Hello, everyone. Star here, and thank you for listening to this video, audio kind of thing. Okay, so the Big Orc series, if you will, is back. We are back, and we have something in store. I don't know how many people remember, because it was a long time ago. But there is a unique and incredible ability that our listener has in this series that, through all of the episodes we've already been through, has not yet been revealed. And I've known what it will be all this time. And I mean, I still do. It's still not revealed, but we're getting there. We are getting very close to the big expose or whatever. And if anyone has been listening to some of my friends' recent work, you will notice that an event recently happened in a popular character series, which seems to be maybe related to the goings-on. Doesn't feel right. The going-ons? The goings-ons? Whatever. It's related to what happened here. So, stay tuned because, what's the phrase? There's a storm brewing. Or, I don't know. There's stuff going on in the background that's, I think, extremely fun, extremely cool. And I can't wait to further elaborate and unveil what that is. I'm being very cryptic. I know that. That's by design. That's intentional. But I'm also like, I'm happy. I am very happy at the moment with how everything's going and with this story and the crossover that is ongoing, basically. It's wild to think that a story that I made has existed and lived this long on the internet, and I mean, hell, the episode 1 to this story is still my most viewed video of all time, and I kind of love that because, like, we love orcs, and now I get to do a crossover event with other people making incredible stories. It's wild. It's wild, especially. Okay, so a little story time with Star. This is our story time moment. I've said before I was the shy kid in class, and I was, that's true. But I always loved reading and stories, and I was poor, extremely, extremely poor, and we didn't have cable, and we didn't have a lot of the quote normal things. So I mean, I didn't even buy comic books. I would watch the X-Men show or the Spider-Man show on TV, right? But I never got comic books. And so what I would do instead is go sit on a computer on Wikipedia and read for hours and hours and hours. Read the entries of all the characters of, you know, Wolverine and Xavier and Joker and Batman and Darkclaw, which, if you've never heard of, is the badass crossover of Bruce Wayne and Logan. Batman plus Wolverine. And his arch nemesis, Hyena, Sabretooth, and Joker. And so I would read about these comics, and I'd read about these heroes, and I'd read about these crossover events. And they were so cool. You know? So cool. I mean, I know, like, Batman has fought aliens and predators. Like, it's really, really cool to see two different stories that I like cross over one another and, you know, do a combined thing for a bit. And so being in a position where now I am creating a story that is crossing over with another creator of stories that I like is really cool and weird and awesome in a lot of ways I don't think I understand. But, yeah. I guess the takeaway, young Star was very poor and very nerdy, and I got my comic book fix reading Wikipedia. So, there's your takeaway fact for this outro. Thank you so much for listening. If you got that far, you're welcome. And, yeah, okay. I think that's enough for this one. So now I'm gonna say goodbye for now. And thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Mwah.